What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and these are my NBA DFS contenders for Tuesday, March 3rd. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this video and all of our other content goes live. Use the promo code CONTENDER for 50% off your first week of Awesemo Plus. And finally, follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to this list throughout the day as news breaks. Danilo Gallinari is on the outside looking in. Who will be the top 10 plays for today? It's time to find out. Coming in at number 10, we've got Kyle Lowry. His pricing is just simply broken. He is $6,900 on FanDuel, $8,100 on DraftKings. This should come as no surprise that Kyle Lowry is very much a FanDuel play. I am focused specifically there. You've got to get him in your lineup. Matchup against Phoenix is relatively neutral from a pace and defensive spot, but he's been playing better as of late. We're looking at 35, 36, maybe even more minutes. At that price tag on FanDuel, it is a no-brainer. 44-point GPP goal. Just get yourself some Kyle Lowry. All right, coming in at number 9, former Kyle Lowry teammate DeMar DeRozan. 8K on FanDuel, $7,400 on DraftKings with the shooting guard small forward eligibility. That's as good as it gets. I've got him in for 34 minutes. He's going to need to shoulder a pretty large offensive load with LaMarcus Aldridge out once again. It's a great matchup in terms of the Hornets defense being bad, but we know that this is a slow, crawling game. The Hornets grind this stuff to a halt. I feel like that sort of fits DeRozan working in the mid-range. If he can get it cooking, this feels like the perfect spot for DeMar. Back to Toronto we go. Number 8, the new DeMar DeRozan, Fred VanVleet. Once again, I've got him in for 36 minutes. Now keep a close eye here because he is questionable, but I like this spot and this price tag for VanVleet. Phoenix is fine. As I mentioned for Kyle Lowry, this is a relatively neutral matchup in terms of pace and defense. But Fred VanVleet hasn't been playing very well as of late. 0.86 FanDuel points per minute over his last 30 days. That's about a tenth of a point below where I have his baselines. The good news is we've seen a reduction in price. $6,200 on FanDuel, even $6,600 on DraftKings. Those are two prices I want to keep an eye on, FanDuel in particular. I like VanVleet at this reduced price. I expect him to rebound back to his normal rates eventually. I want to get him at a discount today. Next up, number 7, De'Aaron Fox. $7,500 on FanDuel, underpriced. $8K on DK, totally fine. I really like $34 on Yahoo and the 1.35x multiplier on Superdraft. I've got him in for 32 minutes. Washington's defense has been decent as of late, surprisingly at least, but this will be a pretty sizable pace-up spot for the Kings. Fox loves to run. That plays right into his hands. I've got him in for 32 minutes, 21-7 as a baseline. Sort of similar to Fred VanVleet in that he hasn't been playing very well as of late. I'm looking to get him at that decreased price tag once again, cash in on somebody that's a couple $100 cheaper than they should be. Coming in at number 6 and making his contenders debut, welcome to it, Zion Williamson gets a date with Minnesota, and this is perfect. Defense, terrible. Pace, through the roof. He's been playing well, 1.25 fantasy points per minute over the past 30 days, $8,200 on FanDuel, $7,700 on DraftKings. The big one, 1.55x multiplier on Superdraft. That is absolutely impossible to ignore. Key cash game piece there. Got to be using him one way or the other. Loving Zion today. Doesn't matter what site. Get that man in your lineups today. Now, if Zion Williamson isn't your cup of tea, we'll stay in New Orleans. Number 5, Brandon Ingram. Big minutes. I've got him in for 35. He's got the exact same benefits as Zion. A matchup with Minnesota, who's terrible defensively, in a pace-up spot. They gain 5 additional possessions over their normal averages. Ingram just under 8K on both FanDuel and DK. The 1.35 multiplier on Superdraft isn't as good as Zion's, but I like him nevertheless. He works on all the sites, FanDuel, DraftKings, Yahoo, Superdraft. Just get him in there. I get a little nervous about having Ingram and Zion in the same lineup, but I see no reason that those two guys can't coexist. This looks perfect to me. Grab yourself Brandon Ingram. No reason to not get guys against the Wolves. All right, with value mildly lacking, we're seeing some more guys in the mid-range, and right now, number 4, Miles Bridges. The minutes are there. Devontae Graham's going to be out. They're pretty thin, so 32 feels light. He could certainly go north of that. 40 is the GPP goal. He's a 0.9 fantasy point per minute guy. You're going to need a little bit to go right, but against San Antonio, a little bit short-handed as well. This feels like a good spot. It's a relatively pace-neutral matchup for Charlotte. 17.5 points, 6 boards, 2 assists. That feels like a decent baseline. I have him getting to 40 GPP points about 20% of the time. It means once every week and a half, you're going to want to make sure you get Miles Bridges. I'm hoping today is that day. Now, coming in at number 3, we're off to Denver. Jamal Murray. 34 minutes, but he's been playing big minutes as of late. Sub 7K price tag on both FanDuel and DraftKings. A solid 1.4x multiplier on SuperDraft. The pace isn't anything to write home about, although they do gain an extra possession over their averages. But they get to face the Golden State Warriors, and their defense is bad. 4% worse than average on a per possession basis over their last 15 games. GPP goal in the mid-40s. I mean, Murray's the type of guy that can go for 60. So anytime that I can get him in a spot where he's not really facing a ton of legitimate NBA talent, Murray can roast these dudes. I want to get to him in this high 6s price tag. Now, coming in number 2, Jrue Holiday, 8,100 on FanDuel, 7,900 on DraftKings. He is the third Pelican to show up, which should be no surprise given the pace and defensive matchup these guys have. I've got him locked in for 36 minutes. He's got about a 50-point GPP goal. See no reason Jrue Holiday can't do something in those lines. 1.12 fantasy points per minute over the last 30 days. He's got a 1.35x multiplier on SuperDraft. That looks That looks great, but it's not even the best because the $31 price tag on Yahoo is the best you'll find across all 4 sites. Get Jrue Holiday no matter what site you're playing on. This is too good of a spot to pass up on. And finally, coming in at number 1 for me, Terry Rozier. But be sure to let me know in the comments, who is your number 1 contender for today? Are you on the same train as me? Are you getting on the Rozier train? You should be. 36 minutes, no Devontae Graham. Malik Monk is still out for whatever he did. This is the spot for him. It didn't go well the last time Graham was out, but I see no reason to get away from Rozier here, even though he has been terrible as of late. 0.73 FanDuel points per minute over his last 30 days, but I can't get away from it. 40-point GPP goal. I've got him getting there about a third of the time. He's going to have free reign to do whatever he wants on this team. San Antonio is not terribly scary. Relatively neutral matchup from pace and defensive nature. Miles Bridges is there as well. I think those two guys have the most solid minutes of anybody on the Hornets. You just want to be there. He works on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo. Unfortunately, not a part of the Super Draft slate as this game goes off at 7 o'clock. But Terry Rozier, welcome to the number 1 spot. All right, everybody, that closes it out. Those are my NBA DFS contenders for Tuesday, March 3rd. Once again, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Use that promo code CONTENDER for 50% off your first week of Awesemo Plus. And the biggie, follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to this list throughout the day as news breaks. I'm not on any shows tonight, so you're going to need to rely on Twitter for these updates. So check that out and check me out because I will be back tomorrow morning with another NBA DFS Contenders video. Best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you then.